Hey everyone, this is your captain speaking. Stardate 90319, September 3rd, 2019, and we made it. We're in the portal, the new moon super portal, the new moon harmonic convergence super portal. We all went through it. The whole earth went through it. And many of you went through it ritualistically. Many people on the planet engaged it with their imagination and with intentionality and with open-heartedness to the possibilities of the moment. And so when you do that, the portal opens up a lot of potent timelines. And we're going to talk about it more. And first, I want to say this. Thank you so much for your appreciation of the last video. If you haven't seen it, please do. It'll be awesome for you. Link below. And I'm just so grateful for all of the likes, all of the comments, and all the new subscribers. This is so fantastic. Welcome to my channel. My name is Matthew Stelzner, if you don't know me, if you're new here. And I do videos mostly on astrology and tarot. And if you like this video, I'd be really grateful if you hit the like button. If you know anybody else that you think might like it, if you'd share it with them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you join me here on my channel. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notifications bell. And you'll be notified when I release a new video. My intention is to release one at least once a week. And the other thing I would love is if you leave some comments down below. And I want to start out with some questions. How's everybody doing? What are your portal experiences? Are you noticing anything unique and different as you move into a new phase of your life? Can you feel it? Can you feel like there's a big new wave that has come in that is opening up new possibilities? Well, I would love to hear about it. Please leave a comment below. I'd also love to hear how you're dancing. Are you really dancing? What are your experiences dancing? Are you having some epic dancing experiences? I would love to hear about it. So here we are, drifting through space on an amazing planet, and we happen to be totally in alignment with all our other friends, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, all directly in alignment. The moon has moved off. It's moving towards Jupiter. And I want to say something about it. It's coming in the next few days. I'm recording this on Tuesday. And I'm talking about the Moon-Jupiter conjunction, activation of the super portal. And I want you to look for this Moon-Jupiter conjunction. I want you to actually go commune with it. And so this is what you need to do. The moon, if you observe it after sunset, night by night, is moving towards the brightest object in the sky, which is Jupiter right now. And so it's easy to spot it if you know the general arc that the sun and moon are moving through. Just look like after sunset or towards sunset, really high in the sky. That's where Jupiter is. And the moon is moving towards it. It's been a crescent moon, and now it's moving towards being a half moon at the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle. And so in the next few days, I think like Wednesday at sunset is the first time to really be paying attention. And then Thursday at sunset, it's really happening. And Friday at sunset, it's still happening. That's 2 full days, basically. From Wednesday sunset to Friday sunset, that's the general period. It goes beyond that towards Saturday morning, all California time. And so what I want you to do is to be observing the nighttime sky and keeping track of where Jupiter is and where the moon is and how they're moving close together in the sky. It happens once a month. And here we are. It's happening right at the moment that it's in alignment with the rest of the super portal. In other words, the moon and Jupiter are in a 90-degree angle with the sun, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. And because Sun, Venus, Mars, and Mercury are all opposite Neptune, it's forming what's called a T-square pattern, a very precise T-square pattern by the time it gets really exact on Thursday evening. And so I think it's very worth communion with this whole alignment. And for that, you got to get out under the sky. I think the best times to really encounter this energy as it's forming here are at sunrise and sunset. And again, imagining when you look towards the sun at sunrise and sunset, that everything's in perfect alignment. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are on the other side of the sun, all in a conjunction with each other. And so when you're looking towards the sun, you just got to feel yourself on a rotating earth, staring right towards the rising sun and seeing right behind them Mercury, Venus, and Mars, and praying to them for support and guidance, praying for their unique wisdom that each of them have to support you and guide you. But as you're looking towards the sun, you got to imagine that directly behind you, as the sun is rising, Neptune is setting over here. Sunrise, Neptune setting. Sunset, Neptune rising. And so Neptune's at your back if you're looking towards the sun. You can look opposite the sun, away from the sunrise, away from the sunset, and have the sun at your back and look directly towards Neptune. And what you can do is pray to each of these planets and see how they're in alignment with you as you do, and kind of receive whatever guidance wants to come to you in your imagination. And so Neptune has to do with spirituality and consciousness, and it's the water element, and so it has to do with flow, and it dissolves boundaries, and it softens things. It brings inspiration. It has to do with dreams. And so I'm thinking about this as a portal of dreams, a portal of honoring your dreams, a portal of honoring your visions, and receiving all kinds of support to open you in that direction, to pull you towards spiritual experience, to pull you towards expansion of consciousness, to pull you in the direction of spiritual heart openings. That's Venus opposite Neptune. Venus, the heart, and Neptune, the spiritual. Earlier this year, some of you saw my video inviting you to consciously enter into what I was calling the heart chakra portal. That was like the new moon phase of the heart chakra portal. This is the full moon phase, when the full potential of the intention earlier this year to open your heart, to open to spiritual love experiences, when your intention to do that is now flowering, it's bearing fruit. So you're more likely to experience all kinds of gifts on your spiritual path at this point. And so you want to be on the lookout for those gifts and embrace them and honor them and celebrate them. Celebrate that you've learned to open your heart more spiritually. Perhaps you've also learned to have spiritual experiences with art and music more regularly, more powerfully. And that could be flowering in your life. It could be a heart opening in an intimate relationship, in a romantic relationship. And so it's like you want to give space for this flowering, this fruiting of your spiritual life to come in. Mars opposite Neptune really strongly, that's about learning how to live and move in flow, learning to be a surfer of life, learning to catch the waves, the intuitive waves, where you feel pulled to ride a wave towards some possibility. The Sun, Neptune, has a lot to do with spiritual self-exploration and getting in touch with your higher self, the light body part of you, your most ascended self, exploring yourself to find that higher spiritual dimension of who you are. And so Mercury, Neptune, Mercury is the mind, and so it is the combination of opening the mind in the direction of spiritual guidance. It has a lot to do with intuitive ability generally. Mercury-Neptune is like telepathic knowing, transcendent knowing. And so I think we're all developing our natural telepathy over our lifetimes. And I think it happens in attunement with this cycle, or it can. And so to the direction that you're becoming more psychic, more telepathic, more intuitive in terms of how you use your mind, how you think through things, your ability to follow the flow of your own imagination, to use more divinatory tools, this would be an awesome time this week, this whole next week, to really do divinatory practices like tarot and astrology, the I Ching, whatever works for you, to consult these oracles to move into your intuitive mind states, the psychic capacities where you just know things, where you get a download. It's a week to really be available to downloads. You know, those moments where everything kind of comes together and you think more clearly about something, or you just know something after working at it for a long time. Just suddenly it's like, oh, the spiritual inspiration is clear, or there's a clarity of the spiritual message that comes in an instant of knowing. But you have to be available to that moment. You can't be so busy with other, say, practical things that there's no space to receive the intuitive guidance. And so I think literally connecting with the water element is really good, because Neptune is so potent right now, and just the way in which the mind opens, the heart opens, and the way you move opens when you're near a body of water. You know, so get to the ocean, get to the lakes, get to the rivers. At the very least, you know, get in the water element in your shower and just spend a little more time in there. You know, let yourself be cleansed by the water. Doing ritual near water could be very potent. A couple days ago, I went down here in San Francisco to Ocean Beach. At sunset, it was a gorgeous warm day. Again, that's the Mars, Venus, the pleasure of it. And there were surfers. Mars-Neptune has a lot to do with surfing, any kind of water sport. And I like to take photos of surfers. And so like Mercury-Neptune has a lot to do with photography. So does Venus-Neptune. Doing any kind of art near water, expressions of the water element would be awesome this whole next week. And yeah, it was such a beautiful sunset, and it was definitely a kind of heart chakra opening time that I spent there, and so yeah, you'll feel a natural pull towards water at this time, and you want to honor moving towards water. So what's happening uniquely is night by night, the moon is moving closer to Jupiter. And so I want you to start being attuned to it as soon as you can. After you see this video, be sure that night, tonight, or I don't know when I'm going to release it. It's going to go out maybe tomorrow, Wednesday. And so get out and look at the night sky. After sunset, you'll easily find the moon kind of getting higher in the sky night by night. And you'll look for Jupiter. It's the brightest object in the sky. And once a month, they come into conjunction. But it's not every month that they're also in this exact T-square pattern with Sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury on one side of the Sun, and Neptune directly opposite. And that whole alignment is in a T-square with the forming Moon-Jupiter conjunction in Sagittarius. And I'm really feeling this alignment is kind of like Centaur's bow. The Moon-Jupiter conjunction is kind of the tip of the arrow, Sagittarian arrow. Sagittarius is a centaur. Some people think of Sagittarius as Chiron. And this is the Centaur bow being pulled back by the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Mars on the one side. Neptune on the other is the other end of the bow, and it's being pulled back by the Earth, and it's aiming towards some big vision. Right now, Jupiter is square Neptune. It has been since last November. We're at the last quarter phase of the Jupiter-Neptune cycle of time, which is the cycle of big dreams and big visions. When you get into alignment with a bigger vision for yourself. Also, maybe where you learn what a vision that's too big is and how that can lead to certain gifts and challenges. Certain timelines, the big vision timelines, have their quality. And then there's like the middle path, big vision. That's awesome to aim for that, I feel. What is the middle path, big vision? Like the big vision that's manageable, that's realistic, that actually you intuitively have a sense, this could happen. I could manifest this big vision. It feels like it could almost just naturally occur, as opposed to it being too big of a stretch. That's what Jupiter can do. But you can aim for the middle path with that Centaur arrow, that Sagittarian arrow. So this next week, please take more time for visionary states, for dreaming, for reverie, and maybe go to the water, do some kind of ritual, and if it's sunset or sunrise by the water, it's real easy to tune into this whole alignment, because you know that the sun is setting or it's rising and everything's in perfect alignment with the horizon, and then directly overhead at perfect right angles is Jupiter, and it's easy to find Jupiter shortly before sunrise or shortly after sunset. And so you can really feel that. You can feel like as you look up to the sky, it's like you're shooting your arrow of big dreams, middle path big dreams. You're aiming right down the middle path. It's a realistic big dream, but it's definitely more than what you thought was possible. It's letting yourself stretch towards a larger vision for your life and knowing from past experience how you can grow into it, how you can grow into the manifestation of the vision, of the dream. And so this whole alignment is so great for exploring consciousness. In fact, it can have really strong impulses. That's the Mars-Neptune. It like energizes the Neptunian impulse towards flow and expanded states of consciousness. And so I think it's a good time to make space for that. There's a kind of vacation energy to this right now that could be challenging for really focusing on work. I know here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're just kind of coming out of summer. It's definitely not over yet. It certainly feels like summer here. And, summer extends through the sign Virgo. And we're still very early in Virgo. So we got a few more weeks of summer, and yet right after Labor Day here in the United States, it's like back to work time. And so it's still like, oh, I wish I were on vacation. Well, take a couple extra mental health days. Just add on a couple days to your vacation. Do it spontaneously. That's what I think. Go to some water. Do some tarot ritual. Have an altar, and pray to the heavens. That's what I wish for you in this coming week. It's a trance dance portal now. So find opportunities to dance and trance and prance. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a card here, and it's partnership. Teamwork will give you a better result. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Unicorns, everybody. Build up a talented support team. I think maybe that's what you have to do when you expand your vision. You expand your vision and you expand your support system so you can co-create that big vision of yours. So with that, okay, one more thing. I haven't talked about the Moon-Jupiter conjunction itself. What does it mean independent of this other alignment we've been focusing on? The moon is the mother force in the universe. It has to do with nurturing and caring, how you care for yourself and others. Has a lot to do with your emotional needs and how well you're attending to them. And Jupiter makes things bigger, and it grants them success. So I think it's a moment each month for a day or two where we're meant to see how are we succeeding in caring for ourselves, and how are we noticing the big caring energies that the universe brings to us. Can you see how there's a big nurturing force at work in your life that helps you get your needs met? Often it's a feeling of emotional joy and abundance. It's a moment of abundance consciousness. And I think of it as the big mother energy. and getting in touch with the big mama of the universe that wants to hold you tight and remind you that you're loved. Well, if you combine that with everything else we've talked about, you can see how it's a really important moment for taking in these spiritual gifts and really nurturing yourself with them, really embracing them, and seeing how you're cared for by the spiritual experience, how that's an important need that we all have. The need to move into flow, the need to dissolve ordinary awareness and explore consciousness, the need to surf, literally, and to surf the possibilities of consciousness. And so I think it's a time, these next few days, to really love yourself and also channel that caring force to others. It's a good time for exploring consciousness with other people and for connecting with your soul family, your really deep soul family, and just letting it come to you. You'll feel pulled towards your soul family and your star family, and they'll feel pulled towards you. And you want to think about how that big community of support is pulling you towards that big vision and nurturing you towards fulfilling the big vision. Recognize, what is the big community of support that I have that'll help me move towards my big dreams? And so I send you all blessings. If this video has been helpful, please hit the like button, share it with anybody you think might like it, and if you're new, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you for regular exploration of various portals that we will sail into. Come follow us. We're going to catch some really good waves. So subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Blessings, everyone. So much love.